Welcome, friends, to Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter. We bring you the greatest female voices in the music industry, from the artists, songwriters, and producers, to managers and executives, and all the women who make the music industry what it is today. Thank you for joining us. Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Crazy Women Country. I'm Donna, and today I'm here with Jennifer Alvarado. Welcome. How are you doing?
I am great. How are you doing?
I am doing wonderful. I made sure not to mess up the name. See, I told you. I'm working on it now.
Yep, you were perfect. It's perfect.
Oh, so we always start off all interviews with the hardest question ever. Who is Jennifer Alvarado?
Oh goodness. Yeah, that is the hardest question ever. Um, the funny thing is, I remember being asked that question when I was like 17, 18 years old, and I was so like cocky or self-assured about it. I was like, "Oh, I am this person." And honestly, as I've gotten older, the less I know, like the less I'm sure of things. Um, I would say I am personality wise, I'm probably very analytical. I'm definitely not, I guess, the normal musician type that's, right brained and kind of out there. Like, I'm very left brained organized. I, my faith is a big thing for me. So I care very much about that. But I think more than anything, I just want to be a friend to people. So I think that's probably the biggest is that I just want to be a friend for people and be there for people, and hopefully I can do that through music or something that I say. So
Oh, that's beautiful. And you can always be our friend all the time, forever and
thanks,
always.
thank you.
So I was just listening today to one of your recent releases again, Filthy Water. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that and with the writing process?
Yeah. So I came out of like a 2 3 year period where so I had gone into music ministry actually with my church, and it didn't pan out as expected. And there was just a lot that happened over those years. And Filthy Water was kind of my response to it of everything can look a certain way on the surface. But, over time, things come to light. And so it really was kind of me talking back to some narcissistic situations, and kind of just saying, I see it now. And I think that that's just a lesson that sometimes you have to learn is that um, people aren't always what they seem to be. But with that said, people are not always bad either. So that's really where the song came from. It was me talking back to some situations and basically just saying, one day I know that it will all come to light. Like I know that I was very hurt in this situation, and people don't necessarily know about it, but one day they will. I don't know. Um, so it was just a very therapeutic song for me. The writing process was, I'm trying to remember with that song how long it even took me to write. Um, Usually, when I'm writing a song like that, it doesn't take very long because it's just a very raw moment where I get it out, and then it's like, I'll play it for my husband, and I'm like, what do you think? And with that one, I didn't really change anything in it. Sometimes I'll go back and I'll hash out the lyrics and everything for 15 times because I feel like I can say it better. But with that one, I didn't. It was just sort of like, here you go.
I think you have a great point. And I was talking with someone else recently, and we were talking about how songs that become therapy just flow out in that it's like a perfectionist, like it's right brain creative, but just it flows out. And there's no rhyme or reason sometimes. It's just comes out, and if it's like it's perfect. And like you're saying, and then you have other songs where you're like really struggling to write. And I've been guilty of that, going back and rewriting
Oh, yeah.
and it just takes you that. So that is awesome that it came out so flawless for you. I love when that happens. I love hearing the different stories behind these songs because it's so inspiring sometimes because you're like, yep, I'm struggling to write something. And even the other writers that listen to this, they'll say the same things, like we're struggling to get something concise, and we finish it, but it's not like our best work. And, then you have that moment. It's so beautiful though so let me ask you the question, with it being therapy, does that feel like a total release, or is that like that let go for you?
Yes, it is. I've always, so songwriting's always been kind of my thing. From really young age, I wrote songs. That's just sort of how I explain things to myself and how I process things, especially during middle school, because there was just, I wouldn't say a lot of bullying, but I mean, it's middle school. I mean, it's there. And so I would go home and process things. And that's really how I figured out just how I felt about different things. And also, I was that kid that was very shy, very always in my head almost, and didn't really want to express what I was feeling. And so that's how I expressed my emotions, that's how I expressed what I was feeling, all those kind of things. So it's always been there for me. And it was always, when there was chaotic times in my life or whatever, it was that one stable thing that I knew, like, songwriting's safe. Like, I can go write anything I want and say anything I want, and it's okay. So that's just, I don't know. Like, it's just, I feel like God really gave that to me because otherwise I would probably just explode. So,
I think some of us can definitely agree with you on that. Oh, so who are some of the women that have inspired you to do music? Family, friends, and other singers, and who are those people that have brought that into your life?
yeah. I would say number one would be my nanny Duncan. She passed away when I was 10, but we would sit there for hours and watch the Nashville Network when it was that, and CMT, and so I grew up a lot with her at her house and just listening to music, and it was such a just everyday thing. And then my papa, he played instruments, but she definitely, I mean, she was just my world. So um, that's sort of how I came to love country music, and I feel like that's why it feels so much like home, is because that was our time together. That was just where I felt at peace. Um, I I'm trying to think how old I was. I was probably 9 years old when I first really listened to Reba McEntire, and was absolutely just like floored by her. I had this is so cheesy, but like my Barbie dolls growing up, I had a Midge doll, so red hair, all that. She became my Reba doll, and so literally, like, I had the whole Reba entourage with my Barbies and would reenact all the shows. Um, so definitely Reba, like, no doubt about it, Reba. Um, but also, like, I listened to Celine Dion, I listened to Whitney Houston, that kind of stuff because that's what my mom liked. Um, Songwriting wise, Patty Griffin, huge influence there. And I think it was just the fact that, like, I would listen to her songs and they were just so raw and honest. And so that's really what I always wanted with my songs, was to be able to, like, say things, and it could be the same idea, the same topic that you've heard a million times, but it's said in such a way that it just has this lasting effect. And so that's the one thing that I take away from somebody like her, is that you can say it in such a way that it's a memory in itself of just how impactful it was when you first heard it.
Oh, that was beautiful. That was a great the way to describe that. I had never even thought of it describing it that way, because you're right, and that's in lyrics. It's just, yeah, really saying something that resonates with people in a way that hasn't before is it. It's, oh, that was beautiful. So, are you ready for some fun, interactive, maybe right or wrong answered questions?
Yes, bring it on.
Okay. So, the first of our 20 questions.
Hmm.
What was the last thing you read?
A book called Anonymous, and it was talking about, and the author completely escapes me, but it's basically about the hidden years of Jesus, of his life, and how, like, yeah, you don't really know what happened in these years. And the whole point was, when you're going through a waiting season of like, God, what are you doing in my life? And you feel like you should be seen, or you know what I mean, like you're working and you feel like it's just going completely unseen and like nobody notices. Those are the formative times. And it was talking about, my favorite part of that book is it talks about, a tree in the wintertime and how it looks like it's dormant, nothing's happening, it doesn't have leaves, anything, but it's preparing for the spring. It's preparing for that next season. And so it's just one of those books that, like, it changes your perspective on what's happening in your life.
Wonderful. That's one that I definitely have to pick up now. I
Yeah.
appreciate the recommended reading there.
Yeah. I'll send you the author's name when I figure it
Oh,
out.
wonderful. I look forward to it. So, hypothetically, if I need to hide a dead body, do you know a good place?
I'm laughing. Okay, so I'm laughing because literally over the weekend we went to do gingerbread houses with some church people, and I made up this story because I had this gingerbread house of a farm that completely fell in. It's horrible, but it had this little pig with it. And so my story for the gingerbread house was that it was a farmer during the Great Depression who murdered his entire family, and then the pig ate all the bodies to cover the evidence. So my initial thought was, let's find a pig and they'll take care of it.
Perfect. I will be calling you if I ever have a dead body I need to dispose of. Uh,
Awesome.
what's the best concert you've ever been to?
Rainbow.
Really?
Yeah,
I had a feeling that was your answer, but I didn't want to assume anything.
you're right.
What's the first thing you would do if you won the lottery?
Oh goodness. Um, Probably pay off our house so that we didn't have to worry about it. Like, that would just be one bill that was not needed anymore. I've always wanted to start a girls, well, not girls, but just a camp for teenagers. Because I actually, growing up, I had an eating disorder. And so I still want to one day to start a music arts camp that gives teenagers, or anyone for that matter, that's struggling with either substance abuse or just needing being able to express themselves in a different way, that they have that they learn how to do that in a healthy way, like music or songwriting or art or something. So that's probably where that would go to, is to start something like that.
I love that. Do you ever speak in song lyrics?
Yes.
Favorite lyric?
Oh gosh. If you hadn't asked, I would probably be like, um, I sing Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid way too often. Like, my husband and I recite it back and forth at each other. The whole gadgets and gizmos. Yeah. So probably that.
Well, that's great. If you could add someone to Mount Rushmore, who would it be and why? And it doesn't have to be political. I'm pretty sure Reba and Dolly are already on the top two of the list that we're working on, petitioning this. So just FYI.
I mean, Dolly's a good choice. I'd probably say Dolly.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I think Dolly's a good choice, actually. Especially with everything she's done for literacy projects and stuff like that. Yeah, I think Dolly's a great choice. We'll go with Dolly.
I love that choice personally. I think she just gives back so much and a great example of a human being and to give back. So, what's your game plan for zombie apocalypse?
I've already told my husband I wouldn't last long. I'll be honest. I really don't think I would last long. I would be that person that would fall down and get eaten, and yeah. I
Okay,
would
so we
try
need to
to.
work on your game plan.
Yeah, yeah, apparently.
Oh. Okay, so can you recommend an album or artist that we should listen to before we die?
There's so many. Honestly, if you've never listened to Patty Griffin's Living with Ghost, like that's one of my favorites. And when you realize like it was all recorded live, like there's just I don't know, there's something very nostalgic to me about that album. Trying to think what else.
It's a very
There's
good
so
album.
many. We'll go with her because that's just the first thing on my mind at the moment.
And if you all haven't heard it, when we're done with the interview and you're done listening, then you can go listen to that. Okay. So, who would play you in a movie about your life?
Oh.
Okay, who would you want to play you?
I have no idea. Um, I feel like Jennifer Lawrence is quirky enough to probably portray me very well. So we'll go with her.
Great choice. So, one of life's biggest pondering questions:
Hmm.
Where's Waldo?
On a beach somewhere.
Nice.
Yeah.
Would you rather cook or order in?
I would love to be fantastic at cooking and be like, "Oh, I want to cook every night." I'm horrible. Like if you look on my Facebook page from Thanksgiving, I made the sweet potato casserole, put the or not the mushrooms, that'd be horrible. The marshmallows on top. I wanted to broil it to make it just enough brown so it looked pretty. I looked over and it was on fire. Like bad on fire. Whole top of it was black. There was nothing left. So yeah, we order in a lot, or my husband cooks.
Oh, I think it would be fun to do a cooking show with you.
It
That
would
would
be
be
a disaster.
fun.
It would be a straight
But
disaster. But okay.
it's all good. It's all good. It's all about having fun and trying, right?
Yes.
Oh, what TV show would you be a member of?
Hmm. I here's the every TV show that we love gets canceled. Life in Pieces, like I would love to have been on Life in Pieces because that whole family is just so crazy and honest and or Modern Family, like either one of those. Like I would love those. If you're talking about a talk show, I have no idea. Um, I guess just an extra on Kelly Clarkson's talk show one day. I don't know.
Okay, take me with you. I just want to hang out. It'll be fun.
Okay.
And then if we ever get to Jimmy Fallon, because he seems like such a riot, that's one I would just, he's just so funny.
Okay.
Like
I'll
we'll go
take
there
you.
together. Okay,
Yep.
perfect.
I'll take you.
Oh, so boots or heels?
Boots. Yeah.
Let me ask the question because someone actually told me that the other day when they said boots, they're like, I do combat boots. So I was like, oh, not even cowboy boots. So is there a different type or just boots in general?
I do like Doc Martens a lot, or that style. So yeah, and if I wish I had them in here with me, but I have like all these sparkle boots. So yeah, probably, but they're all like combat boots. So yeah, probably combat boots or the little booties. Like I'm good with the little booties. I have this pair of booties that have like the fringe on the side. We're good with those too. Heels,
Perfect.
I'll fall. Like I'll trip and fall. And that'll be a disaster. So
Oh, we will definitely give you the Miss Congeniality Award then. Because it would just
yep,
probably go with it, I think. I
yep.
have this feeling.
It would, Sandra Bullock would be good playing me too.
Okay, we'll sign her up.
Okay.
Oh, what's the best thing since sliced bread?
I'm gonna be really cheesy and say my husband.
Aw, so sweet. Do you have guilty pleasure music? If so, what is it?
Yes, I do. My I actually listened to it this morning on my way back from the gym. My happy song is "Mbop" by Hanson.
That was
If
great.
I'm in a bad mood, I put it on, or I put on, um, "Yeah" by Usher or "Low," like one of those three songs.
Those are great songs. I think Bob is just one of those like you just never, yeah, you never forget that. If you were alive during that song, you're never forgetting it.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the worst pizza topping?
Mm. I would say either anchovies or pineapple. Both of those just don't seem to work for me.
I would think definitely not together either on those, but
Oh
maybe
no.
not.
Oh no.
Oh, if you could be any person or
Mhm.
a position like CEO or something, who would you be and why?
Hmm. Oh goodness. Um, my initial thought was Mother Teresa. No, I think
Great
that
one.
that would be. I think that would be incredibly hard and difficult,
I,
and I don't have that in me. But yeah, I
but
mean, just the compassion that she had for people. Yeah.
absolutely, that was an awesome choice. That is, yeah, yeah. I want to join you for that too, just so you know.
Okay.
Oh, if we had a song,
hmm
what would it be?
If like a theme song.
Yeah, like we had a theme song that was like our song. Like you jam out to Mbop and
Okay. So growing up, my initials are Jim. They actually spell out Jim. So I thought, like, I very seriously thought when I was little that Jim and the Holograms was about me. Like somehow I just needed to find that pair of earrings, and
yep.
I was set. So yeah, my husband jokes with me quite often about the Jim and the Hologram theme. The whole, truly, truly, truly
Yeah.
outrageous. So that's my theme.
That would be a great theme song for us. Oh, at what age did you become an adult? Yeah, this is one of those trick question things. Some people grow up, some people never do. Yeah.
I feel like I've been about 60 since I was 6. Probably 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Like I was very independent. So yeah, I think probably 7 or 8. I feel like I started cooking dinner and yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. Uh, Jesse says hi. As you can all hear.
Bye.
Oh, if you could be an Olympic medalist and win at any sport, real or fake, what would it be?
I used to love gymnastics. I also wanted to become a Olympic softball player. Like when I played softball, I remember getting this like the genius or one of those softballs for dummy books. I don't know why, but I felt like it was going to really help me and take me to that next level of performance. So I really wanted to be either in the Olympics for softball or just gymnast. Um, I loved watching that. So I was too klutzy to be a gymnast. I would have broken every bone in my body.
Me too. I was on my way there. I was breaking everything when I was growing up, so
Yeah.
I totally get that. Oh, so what does the rest of, oh, I should say, we're going to be doing this in 2022 here. So what does 2022 hold for you?
I hope to be playing out a lot more, and doing a little bit different than what I have been in the past. Like I think I was in church mode for so long, but like that's where my attention goes. So anytime that I kind of go into that kind of job or whatever, like I give everything I got. And so it really took me away from doing my own music. And so this year, especially, like I've really tried to get outside my comfort zone and go out and do the shows and figure out my own sound, figure out all those kind of things beyond church world. um, So I'm hoping to continue to do that and just become more confident in that in 2022. Um, I'm working on an album right now. It was going to be an EP, but I keep adding songs, so we're at an album at this point. But I'm hoping that it's done by like spring of 2022, and then I really want to be able to share those songs. And um, I'm very proud of what this project's kind of panning out to be. It's very, I feel like it's more me than anything I've done. And a lot of that came from just the rawness of a lot of it, and you know, not being afraid to express myself and say, yeah, this was a bad situation. Here we go, or whatever. I just feel like it's the first thing. It's the first time that I've really tried to embrace who I am in my music and not just be what I thought people wanted, if that makes sense.
Absolutely does. Yes. Yes. I think sometimes that whole theory of you need to find your own voice and your own path, I think that makes a difference in what you're doing. I mean, you might love what you're doing, but it might just be that falling into the that path where you're like, this is it. This is now it feels right. Like,
Yeah.
there's always that edge. Sometimes when you're doing stuff, it feels just quite off. You can't quite put your finger on, and that might be it, So
Yeah.
oh, well, it's been wonderful talking to you today. And I could sit and do this all day with you.
Oh, well, thank you.
And you are welcome back anytime.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
Yes. Hopefully when I get the project done, I can share that with you. And
I look forward to it. For sure. We always love to hear about new music. Let us know. We'll try to get you on for some live, Facebooks and things like that as well, and get the new stuff out,
Okay. Well,
It's been a pleasure having you, Jennifer. Yeah, Jesse says bye, everyone. Have a good night.
Bye, Jesse. Bye, y'all. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you all for joining us for another episode, and have a great day. If you enjoyed today's episode of Crazy Women Country, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Be sure to click the subscribe button for new interviews weekly. And thank you, friends, for joining us today on Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter.